Hi, and welcome to Tea with Terri. On today's Tea with Terri, I wanted to talk about a subject that can be a little tricky, and that is the idea of protection. And when you might use protection, how you might use protection, where protection might come from for you. In a recent workshop, I was asked whether I use protection when I'm doing a shamanic journey. And the answer to that is long, and so to shorten it for you, I think what I'm just going to say is the truth, and that is no, I don't use protection. There was a time when I was first being trained in shamanic work that I was told that I always must go into the journey space with protection, that I must be doing any healing work with protection around me. And I have over the years come to know that that isn't my way, that isn't the way that I see and relate to the world. So for me, this idea that we need protection only accentuates this notion of duality, this notion of good and evil, of positive and negative, of good and bad. It only stands to enhance this idea that we are separate from everything around us, that because I am a separate being, I must protect myself, my energy body or my physical body. And in truth, when we're working in the spirit realm, there is no separation. We are not separate beings. I am not, even in the physical world, I am not separate from you on an energetic spiritual plane. We are part of the same divine being, the same divine source, creator, essence is in each of us. So this idea that I might need to protect from something doesn't sit well with me. I do see that my spirit allies, my power animals, my teachers, my guides are all there to, I guess, in a sense, protect me. But that's really not how I relate to them, and that's not really what they're doing. In my heart, I know that they're sort of an advanced warning system, that they are there as the radar to let me know when some new vibration is coming into the space, something that I might not yet be familiar with, something that I might need to spend a little bit of time curious about and observing. And that's really the extent of it for me. I don't get frightened in a journey space typically because I know that everything is coming from love. Every single thing is from love, even if I don't understand it that way. And whenever there is that feeling of this doesn't feel like love, it's usually because I'm not seeing the big picture because I don't understand it. So all that being said, if you are comfortable going into any situation with this notion of protection, then by all means, bring on the protection, bring on whatever you need. I prefer to see it as boundaries, as healthy boundaries. So I'm very good at knowing where my energy begins and ends and where somebody else's energy begins and ends. So that really helps me in this classic sense of protection. I know my energy and I know someone else's energy, and I do not let them mix. I'm very good at keeping those boundaries clear and separate. So you see, even in that situation, there would be less need for protection of any kind because there's no mingling going on. So the first part of protection is boundaries. It's just having clear boundaries. And boundaries are not walls. Remember that. Boundaries are not walls. You never really want to have this big wall around you so that the good things can't come in if there are good things. You want to be able to experience all of this world, all of even the other world. If you're in an altered state in a shamanic journey, you want to be able to take it all in. Knowing that you are safe, knowing that it is all from a place of love. So if you feel more comfortable, and certainly in the beginning when I was first starting out, I did this. I had protection around me all the time, actually. Even in my regular day life, I would wake up and I would envision this veil type thing around me. And that's what I would encourage you to do. I learned this from one of my teachers, Sierra Bender. This idea that instead of building a hard shell or a wall of any kind to have instead a beautiful filmy veil that you can imagine surrounding you, above you, below you, to every side of you, and to know that anything that is in your highest good is going to pass through the veil, and anything that you are not ready for, that is not in your highest good, is going to be stuck on the outside of that veil for now. And when you are ready, then it can come through. But it sort of is a filter that can catch those things that aren't in your highest good in this moment. I hope that helps, this idea of a veil. The other thing that I like to use or tell people to use if they really feel they need this is light. Use pure light, life force energy and consciousness, that Reiki light. It's beautiful at taking any energy that's coming your way and transmuting it into its purest form, which is love. Because in all of our essences, at the heart of our essence is love. It is pure energy, and that is always love. So if you would imagine that there is Reiki light, white light or golden light or whatever color it is that you need in that moment, surrounding you, all around you, bathing you. It's even moving into all of your cells, and you can feel it out here. You can see it and sense it and know that it's there. This beautiful white light. Perhaps it radiates from within you. Perhaps it comes down from above you, from Mother Earth. However it helps you in that moment to most concretely visualize and experience this protective white light, go ahead and try that. It's a beautiful way to know that, to not be separate from the energies that are coming toward you, that are coming to you, to know that every energy that comes to you, once it hits this beautiful light, it will be transmuted into its purest essence, which is love, into the form that it wants to be. There are some vibrations that we don't match up with. There are some energies that feel a little uncomfortable to us because they're at a different frequency, so to speak, than we are right now. And sometimes those are good for us, even though they don't feel good for us, and we need to learn to adjust. Sometimes frequency's up here and it feels uncomfortable because we're here, and so we need to get up there. Sometimes it is a low, what we would think of as a lower frequency, but it's there to teach us something. It's there to show us something that might be in our shadow space. So it's really good to allow that in and through and to work with that. So that's kind of why I don't really work with protection. Now, all of that being said, there used to be days, times, moments, experiences where my guides would come in advance of me calling them in. They're with me all the time. And I have this one band of guides that are very protective. Their signature is one of that warrior energy, that we're here to protect you energy. And every once in a while, I would be going into a meeting or going into a space, and I'd all of a sudden feel them all around me. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. So they've come in advance of me even knowing what I'm walking into to protect me. And again, nowadays, I see it less as they were there to protect me and more as they were there to support me. They were there to have my back, so that I could have that extra little bit of confidence to walk into that situation. So that's my 2 cents on protection. It is controversial because so many of us are taught in our shamanic training that we must always go in with protection. But really, I've come to believe that it's less about protection and more about transmuting the energy, transmuting any energy that comes to us that might need our help, and transmuting that so that it can return to the light, which is where it truly wants to be. And sometimes these energies are coming to you for just that reason, because Spirit Creator knows that you are a strong enough being, that you are an enlightened enough being, that you can transmute this energy, that you can free it and release it and return it to the light. Sometimes we get trapped in our own negativity or our own our own tricky spots, and we need to be brought to the light. And I would hope that if I'm ever in that place, that somebody out there, either in the spirit realm or in this three-dimensional world, would be able to, rather than protecting themselves from me, would be able to help guide me back to the light, to help turn me around so that I can live my fullest life the way that Creator wants it to be. So I hope that helps. This is long to a Terry, but it's a big subject, and I know I can feel it already that I haven't even touched on most of it. But maybe that'll help guide you just a little bit in how you see protection and different ways that you might be able to call in protection that is still in the light of love and with creator energy. So have a good day, and I'll see you next week.